12 News, a playground for all. Brooklyn Park works on building a first for the city. Plus, a unique way to tone those muscles. In Health Check, we introduce you to yoga on the lake. But first, targeted again.
This is the third time that this type of vandalism has happened at the church.
What police are saying about vandalism at a Maple Grove church. 12 News starts right now. Maple Grove police are looking for vandals after a church was targeted there for a third time.
It happened at Pilgrim United Church of Christ. That's located in the middle of a residential area in the 8800 block of Rice Lake. Police and parishioners are hoping someone witnessed this most recent case.
The doors of the church are supposed to be open, but that wasn't the case last Sunday.
They actually had to handcuff the doors of the church shut, so we couldn't get in.
Steve Hepikowski has been a member of Pilgrim United Church of Christ for more than 20 years.
There's never been this kind of destruction.
He couldn't believe the church had been targeted for a third time in June.
When I got up there, I saw the eggs all over the windows and the door, like it's been a couple times before. And your stomach drops and go, not again. Why keep doing this?
In two of the cases, vandals wrote graffiti referencing Bible verses that could be construed as being anti-gay.
It just seems such a twisted way to use the Bible to us.
The church has an open and affirming policy, which means they open up their doors to anyone, regardless of their sexual identity.
Sometimes I think we are referred to as the gay church because we are accepting of GLBT people.
Maple Grove police believe the church may have been targeted for that reason.
A hate crime is not necessarily a word we use in law enforcement, but it is a bias-motivated crime that we're investigating.
Meanwhile, members of the church say they are going to do what God told them to do.
They're forgiven. We forgave them right away. And if they do it again, we'll forgive them again. I wish they wouldn't do it.
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Police are beefing up security at the church. They're also asking for the public's help in finding the person or persons responsible. You're asked to call police if you have any information.
Golden Valley police are alerting the public about a string of neighborhood burglaries. They happened in an area west of Byerly's grocery store. In two of the cases, police say the burglars entered through unlocked windows. A laptop and other electronic items were stolen. In a third case, burglars gained entry into a three-season porch but did not go any further because the other windows and doors were locked. Police say the prowlers entered homes through the backyards. The Golden Valley police say they do have some leads, but no arrests have been made.
A Champlin woman has pleaded guilty to stealing thousands of dollars from her children's school in Brooklyn Park. Melissa O'Brien was accused of taking nearly $55,000 while she served as PTO treasurer at Oxbow Creek Elementary. The stolen funds would have paid for programs benefiting children. Prosecutors say O'Brien used the funds for personal expenses. The Oxbow Creek PTO discovered the theft months after it began when a check bounced for insufficient funds. Thousands of toppled trees and the largest power outage in Minnesota history, but there's no guarantee that the state will receive federal disaster assistance. FEMA will conduct damage assessments next week to see if Minnesota and Hennepin County meet the threshold for federal aid. Minnesota must top more than $7 million in damage to public facilities in order to receive that assistance. The Insurance Federation of Minnesota estimates the June storms could cost governments and the public around $100 million. In time for 4th of July boating, the no-wake rule on Medicine Lake has been lifted. It required boaters to slow their speeds to 5 miles per hour or less. The sheriff's office started enforcing the no-wake order last week. Officials were concerned about shoreline erosion after heavy rains had raised the level of the lake.
Well, they're as much a part of summer as popsicles and sunburn. This time, though, we're talking about mosquitoes. And the little buggers are particularly plentiful this year because of our near-record rainfall. Although the rain can't be controlled, there are ways to control mosquitoes. The Metropolitan Mosquito Control District was out in full force today. We caught up with them in Robbinsdale. They were spraying parks and band shells ahead of scheduled 4th of July activities.
This is a really big outdoor 4th of July weekend. It's kind of prime time for people to get outside, and we're trying to knock the numbers down to a point where people can enjoy themselves this weekend.
Besides their itchy, irritating bites, mosquitoes can carry West Nile virus, which was on the rise across the country last year. In Minnesota alone, there were 70 cases reported in 2012.
Hopefully the Mosquitoes will stay away for tonight's Music in Plymouth. While the free concert doesn't start until 5 Tuesday evening, some folks have been camped out since 7 o'clock this morning to reserve a spot for the show. The event packs in more than 10,000 people every year at the outdoor Hildy Performance Center.
It's a beautiful day for Music in Plymouth. I mean, couldn't be a better day. Nice temperatures, low humidity, and it's going to be great entertainment, great community atmosphere, food, and just the camaraderie of all the people in the community.
The entertainment lineup is a unique mix of local talent. The Bella Diva Show Band will pay tribute to influential American female vocalists from the 1940s through today. Sociaholic is a high-energy reggae band, and then there's retro soul band The Irresistibles featuring Mick Sterling. Because of the Minnesota Orchestra labor dispute, the Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra will perform for the first time at Music in Plymouth, and that's followed by fire dancers and fireworks to cap off the big nights. Brooklyn Park's newest crop of firefighters comes with plenty of experience.
The 7 new firefighters were sworn in last night. Each has an average of 9 years of experience. 2 of them have served 20-plus years for other communities. Still, all of them had to go through 9 weeks of training to learn Brooklyn Park's way of doing things.
We're very proud of this class. They've done a great job. It's nice for them, I'm sure, to get out of the academy, especially when you have a lot of years of experience. Sometimes sitting through classes can seem frustrating.
The newest additions include former Osseo Fire Chief Mark Lind. They bring the total of Brooklyn Park firefighters now to 86. Well, the city of Brooklyn Park already has an adaptive field so those with disabilities can enjoy the game of softball. But soon, Northwoods Park will also have an accessible playground.
Reporter Cassie Bonstrom has more on the design plans for this all-inclusive playground and why the city thinks it will have a positive impact on everyone in the community.
Every week, camp counselor Amy Cheetah watches over dozens of kids as they climb on the playground.
These kids learn to take turns on a playground. They learn to share. They learn a lot of life lessons.
But unfortunately, not everyone can enjoy the bridge, the swings, and the slides. It's not accessible to those with disabilities.
It'd be nice to have that access for them as well.
By fall, they will. The city of Brooklyn Park was already planning to tear down the existing playground and build a new one.
We thought, why not make it an all-inclusive playground for everybody?
The current playground at Northwoods Park has narrow passageways and several steps. Not ideal for anyone with a physical disability. However, the new playground will be entirely wheelchair accessible.
It'll have an artificial turf base instead of the sand or pea gravel or wood chips that you see on normal playgrounds.
Brooklyn Park officials hope the new design also makes it easier for parents and grandparents to join in the fun.
This really exemplifies that everybody, all can come and enjoy this park and especially this playground.
Amy agrees. She says it will send an important message to her community.
It shows that we're all about inclusion and that we are willing to go that extra mile to make sure that everyone is having fun.
In Brooklyn Park, Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
Construction for the new playground will likely begin in early September and take about a month to complete. The total cost will be about $350,000, which the city is paying for with grant money and city and state funds. Still ahead, yoga in a unique place.
We'll show you another way people are striking a pose.
And then later in sports, 2 local players are a step closer to their dream of playing professional hockey.
But first, break out the fireworks for the AccuWeather forecast. This 4th of July should be a nice one.
If you take a trip out to the lake this 4th of July weekend, chances are you'll see a few people using stand-up paddle boards.
But people can do a lot more on those things than just paddle across the water. In today's Health Check report, Elaine Cleveland shows us a paddleboard exercise that requires some serious balance.
It's all-encompassing. It's being outside, enjoying the sun and the water.
There are few things in a Minnesota summer
just being outside and part of nature
that are as natural as being on or near a body of water.
and the tranquility of all of it.
Tranquility on the water comes in many forms, but 4 times a week at Lake Nokomis, it means yoga poses,
Curl your toes under, and send your hips high.
On a paddleboard.
They are quite challenging sometimes on land, and you add it to the board, and it adds a really fun dimension to yoga practice.
Dory Johnson owns Paddle Sculpt, which brings fitness routines to the lake using paddle boards.
Well, it truly is a full body workout. You really have your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes really working to keep you centered.
On a recent windy morning, several newcomers braved the waters to experience a Paddle Sculpt yoga class.
I'm new to paddleboarding, but the yoga is something that's been part of my practice, and so I wanted to take it to another level.
For more than an hour, Krista Holine and the rest of the class drifted along the water,
High to low plank, elbows in, lower halfway.
while Sarah Young called out instructions.
We move slow enough through the yoga postures that if you've never done yoga before, you'll be fine.
Yet the main challenge during Paddle Sculpt yoga is maintaining your balance.
Well, everybody takes their turn falling in. That is definite.
Not even the instructor was immune to the laws of gravity.
It's a little windy today and it's a little chilly with the wind, but the water was really warm. So once we fell in, it felt really good.
Some in the class say it took a few minutes to get used to the boards, but once they got the hang of things, the experience not only felt natural, but provided a good workout.
Everybody comes off the water pretty happy.
Yes, absolutely. I'm hooked.
For Health Check, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Paddleboard yoga instructors say that the class is a challenge, but everyone is capable of doing it. And for more information on classes, you can go to our website at 12.tv. And I think it's just a matter of time before someone in the
Goes
water.
in the water. Yeah, I can hear them saying good for your core, you know? Good for your core, but you got to be ready to get wet, I think. That's the way it looks.
I don't think it's such a bad thing, though. It's going to be nice and warm, and the lakes are warming up.
That's true.
Maybe it's not so bad.
Beautiful scenery.
It looked like fun, though, too. Coming up, getting a jump start on celebrating the 4th of July.
We'll show you the unique gathering outside a New Hope funeral home. But first in sports, a former Champlin Park player will take over the Rebels baseball program. Jay Wilcox has that and more when we come back.
Well, Jay Wilcox joins us now with a look at sports, and there will be a new baseball coach over at Champlin Park High School.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little time to prepare for it, too, getting the job, right after this past season has just ended. After 5 seasons, Jeff Stoll has stepped down as the varsity baseball coach at Champlin Park High School. 12 Sports' John Jacobson caught up with the Rebels' new head coach, Corey Davis.
Thanks, Jay. I'm with Corey Davis, who's the new varsity baseball coach at Champlin Park High School. And Corey, congratulations on the new job, but you're not new to the program. You've been coaching here for a number of years.
Yes, I have. Since 2001, I've been coaching at the lower levels here at Champlin Park, and yeah, not a stranger to the program by any means.
You graduated from the school in 1996, played baseball and football. Does that make it more special to be a head coach at your alma mater?
You know, it really does. I guess at the end of the day, that's kind of the reason why I want to do this, is because of the opportunities that athletics granted me while I was a student athlete here at Champlin Park High School. For me to be a coach and see that given back to another kid is kind of what I'm in this for. So great opportunities were given to me, like I said, here at Champlin Park, and if I can be a part of another kid's future, that would be fantastic.
2013 was a good spring for the baseball team, but you lose some good talent. You had Bryce Marquardt and Matt Smith leading the way that were in the All-Star game just a couple of weeks ago. What kind of talent do you have coming back for next spring?
Well, you're absolutely right. It's going to be next to impossible to replace those two guys, not only their skills, but their leadership too, on and off the field. You know, the benefit that I have coming into this is I know the kids really, really well, and I'm excited with the talent that we have coming back that I've been able to work with the last couple of years. So, you know, I can't go so far as to say we're going to be able to replace Bryce or Matt or any of the other real seniors that were very beneficial to the program, but we have a lot of great kids, not only, you know, in our juniors and sophomores, but all the way down through. I've been able to catch a few youth games here this summer, and a lot of good baseball players around.
What do you do this summer to work with your players that'll be varsity players next year?
Well, fortunately for me, I had committed to coaching Legion baseball before this job became available, which is pretty unique. A lot of the varsity coaches coach VFW baseball. So for me, it's an opportunity to get acclimated to the speed of the game at the varsity level here, and which I've been away from for a while. And so I'm working with the Legion team throughout the summer.
A local basketball standout has decided where he'll continue his college career. Joe Coleman is leaving the University of Minnesota and will play at St. Mary's in California. Coleman decided to leave the Gophers after the coaching change from Tubby Smith to Richard Pitino. The former Hopkins star and Mr. Basketball winner averaged 8.7 points during an up-and-down sophomore season for the Gophers. Coleman will have to sit out next season as a transfer. 2 local hockey players heard their names called at the NHL Draft. That includes this year's Mr. Hockey Award winner Grant Bessie of Benilde St. Margaret's. The Plymouth resident had 48 goals and 28 assists and was selected by Anaheim in the draft. The first player picked from the area also hails from Plymouth, Taylor Camerata. Camerata, who will be a freshman at the University of Minnesota, was selected in the 3rd round, 76th overall by the Islanders. Camerata had 38 goals and 55 assists for Waterloo of the USHL last season and never played high school hockey. Bessie, who will be a freshman at the University of Wisconsin, was a 5th round pick of the Ducks. So they've got a little bit of time ahead of them in college, but certainly got to be real exciting to hear your name called.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jay.
You're welcome.
Still ahead, a gathering in New Hope that's helping people smile and celebrate again.
We'll be right back.
And finally, we found a very lively and patriotic group today in New Hope.
The Dignity Memorial Lift Support Group got an early start celebrating the 4th of July. Dignity Memorial Lift provides support for widows and widowers. The group had a potluck lunch, sang patriotic songs, and dressed in red, white, and blue.
We all just like to have fun, and it's a very social group, and we really enjoy each other just visiting, and they all like to go out to eat, and so we do that as well.
The New Hope Lift Group meets once a month and hosts a variety of events. Membership is free of charge and open to anyone who has lost a spouse. Really good idea. That's all for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
The Community Corner is coming up next.